We're joined live this morning by Mary Beth Seawald, President and CEO of the Vegas Chamber, to talk about what's in our business. Good morning, Mary Beth. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, John. I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing delightful, as we talked about. So let's explore more about reopening Las Vegas and the boost to local businesses. We focus a lot on the casinos, of course, in the resort area. But what are you seeing and hearing from businesses all around the valley about what it's been like now that capacity and restrictions are being lifted?
Well, I would agree with what Jeremy Aguero said. You know, there is nothing bad about opening. Be clear about that. It's a challenge, though. One of the biggest challenges that we're hearing from our members and all employers across the state are the challenges in hiring folks because they're still receiving their unemployment benefits. And so it makes it challenging for the companies and restaurants and retailers alike to hire folks so that they can keep up with the increased demand. There's such a surge in demand, and Vegas is open for business. We'll make no mistake about that. And that's exciting. It's just that these employers desperately need people to come back to work.
What can employers do, though, to try and entice people to get maybe either back into the workforce or to transition into different kinds of employment, whether it's increasing wages, increasing benefits? I know there have been lots of discussions, as you know, in Carson City with regards to the minimum wage. What can employers do to try and hire people they need?
Yeah, there are several things that employers are doing to bring those individuals back to work. In some cases, they're giving the extra benefits to come back to work. They're giving a bonus to folks to come back to work. So extra, time off and things like that, just to get individuals to be interested in returning to their jobs. And so that's something that it continues to be a challenge because we know that demand is increasing in Las Vegas. And it's extremely exciting. We've got World of Concrete, as you said, coming back. And so the increased demand is just wonderful to see. And as long as we can get people to come back to work, I know I was talking with the Golden Nugget the other day, and they're looking for housekeepers to come back to work. And so they're looking for ways to attract those individuals to come back to their jobs. And we're also looking at upskilling and reskilling some of these individuals so that they can be more prepared for other opportunities as well.
Just to finish on this discussion, is there a concern on your part of sort of Las Vegas getting ahead of its skis a little bit when it comes to supply and demand? There's so much demand, but if there isn't that supply of workforce, that the Valley might get ahead of itself a little bit.
Well, I think, there are always concerns. We have to be very smart and we have to really make sure that we are prepared. And in some cases, you'll see longer lines and things like that. So there are challenges with the increased demand. But I think overall, employers across the state, and especially in Southern Nevada, are doing an excellent job of being very creative about how we're handling that increased demand.
The legislative session just wrapped up in Carson City. It was a little bit of a challenge to be there in person, I know, but let's talk about some of the major bills quickly that have been passed by the legislature on the governor's desk and the impact on local business.
Well, this was one of the most daunting legislative sessions I've personally ever seen. There were a lot of proposals that, if they would have passed, would have significantly harmed employers and small businesses across the state. So our job was more important than ever this year. And as you said, it was tough because we weren't able to be in the building, at least until the very end there. And so, it was just a very challenging time. And there were a lot of new dynamics in Carson City as well. It was hard to engage with lawmakers. There were a lot of special interest groups that were pushing for proposals and policies that also would have hurt economic recovery and things like that. So we saw a lot of proposals that were solutions in search of a problem, quite frankly, John. So this was tough. But overall, the Vegas Chamber was pleased with the outcome. A lot of positive bills passed for education and so forth. So for those reasons, it was very good.
Well, Mary Beth, thank you very much for joining us. Usually when people leave the legislative session, there is good and bad for both sides of the political party. So we appreciate you joining us. Good luck with the recovery, and we'll keep in touch as well as we get in your business.